Welcome to Fantastic Fiber Friday. This week in the Art Yarn series, we're going to talk about doing a double bound boucle. So what I got to start out with, it starts out a little bit differently than the other boucles we tried, but the effect looks like that really lumpy, bumpy, even boucle that we find in the store. So what I'm starting out with is I am making a spiral slub yarn, which we had made in the first part of the slub yarn series. So you're going to want a spiral slub, and this is going to be plied twice. So you want a spiral slub yarn, and then you will want to go ahead and ply this just like you were making, or excuse me, this is just regular slub yarn. You will want to ply this as if you were making a spiral slub. Now usually when you're finished with spiral slub you have to cable it. The difference with this spiral slub is you're going to cable it, but you're going to cable it with a very fine thread in the same direction that you cabled the spiral, or that you spun the spiral slub yarn when you made the spiral slub. So let me repeat this again so actually I can get it straight in my head and tell you guys. What we're going to be creating, you're going to create your slub yarn. You're going to go ahead and ply it as a spiral slub yarn. Then you're going to ply it one more time with a silk thread in the same direction you plied when you plied the spiral slub. Yeah. So I'm going to show all three parts of this process. Right now I'm just spinning up my slub yarn for this. And I will be right back with spinning up some spiral slub. Okay. Now I have, oops, don't want to drop stuff. Okay, I have my spiral slub yarn all spun. I have a lovely 2-ply mohair. I chose drastically different colors to try to, so you could see it better on camera. So this is a 2-ply mohair. And I have my silk thread, which is super fine. Let me see if I can grab a hold of it. And we're going to get to this part later. But what we're going to do for the time being right now is we're going to go ahead and make a spiral slub yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and get my nitty knotty set up. I love my little nitty knotty. My husband helped me create this. I was actually using this basket and holding it with my foot, and he got the brilliant idea to stick some of my ankle weights in the bottom. And that seems to work really well. Let me make sure we're even on both sides here. There we go. And I'm going to put one on one side of me and one on the other. Get the other one set up here. This one's actually a little bit bigger. I can fit more bobbins in it if I need to. Now, there is a difference between cabling and plying, and I wanted to explain this because I thought it might help you understand a little better. We're going to, when you cable a yarn, it's very similar to plying, except usually you're taking two 2-plies and putting them together. Now, oops, that's wrong, there we go. Now plying a yarn means you're spinning, when you go to ply, say you have a 2-ply or you have 3 singles and you ply them all the same direction. You don't just go ahead and ply 2 together and then ply the third together. That would actually be a cabled yarn. It's when you are holding 3 singles in your hand and spinning them at the same time, all in the same direction. That is actually considered to be a plied yarn, and a cabled yarn would be 2 2-ply yarns spun in the opposite direction of the last direction they were first plied. So I hope I alleviated any confusion on that. If you're still confused, shoot me off an email and I'll explain it again. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to go ahead and get my wheel set up here. And I'm going to go ahead and create a spiral slub yarn. There, it's threaded now. And let's move the camera so that you can see. Let's go forward this way. There we go. And as you see, I have my little leader here. Pop off my shoes. I have my spiral slub yarn on this side of me, and I have the 2-ply that was last spun left on this side of me. And we're going to be spinning to the left in the same direction of that yarn to create the spiral slub yarn. So I'm going to grab an end there and an end here. And make sure my tension's proper. It feels like it is. Doesn't feel like there's too much pull on it right now. And let's just get started here. And with spiral slub, you're basically allowing the slubs to loop around. It looks like I need to tighten up my tension just a little. There we go. Because you want to hold one side very tautly and wrap the other around, almost like you're trying to cover the yarn. And I don't know if you can see what that's doing, but it's making it thick and thin. And this is the second part of making the double bound boucle. You want to start out with your spiral slub yarn. And then in the next part of this, because I'm going to finish spinning this up, and you need to make sure to hold that 2-ply really taut and just let the other yarn wrap around. And if you're gonna do a lot of this yarn, I suggest you have plenty of slub yarn, because you're going to use more of it than you are of the 2-ply. And that's the second part of making your double bound boucle. And as soon, well, let's see if I can get the camera to move again. And as soon as I actually get finished spinning this up, we'll go on to the third part of doing our double bound boucle. Okay, so now I have my spiral slub all spun up, and I have my silk thread, and we're going to put these together now, spinning in the same direction that we spun the spiral slub, which was to the left. So I'm going to spin these two together to the left. Let me get set up here and I will be right back. Okay, I am all set up here, and basically what I'm going to do is just regular plying. Everything is going to be applied to the left this time. And let me get my wheel threaded here. And after we finish this, there's going to be one more step, because we're going to have an extremely twisted yarn to the left, because we just spun this to the left. So let's start spinning, and I'll go ahead and move the camera down again. Sorry about my hand. There we go. Oh, come on. Work with me here. There we go. Okay. So, oh, I forgot to put my brake back on. That isn't going to have anything go on there. There. Okay, so we're going to spin these, and you're going to leave slightly less tension on one side than the other. It's almost like you're doing a spiral slub again, and I prefer to have the top one on this side. It's going to be slightly looser, excuse me if you're not having myself straight. Okay, so let's spin these to the left, and you're going to kind of wrap the spiral slub around the silk. I think I need a little more tension on my wheel. Yeah, just add a little bit and see. And you see kind of what it's doing there. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. To the yarn, there we go. And I'll just keep spinning and you can see kind of what it turns into. So we're literally plying this 3 times. And if you're going for a certain amount of this yarn, like say you need so much, like 200 yards or something like that, every time you ply you need to bear in mind that it takes away some of the length of the yarn. So you're going to lose some length each time. Because and also, like I said, this has to be cabled. And you can cable it, I'm just going to cable it back on some more of this silk. Because you're going to have an extremely twisty yarn when you're done with this, and that will help balance it out. And all I did with my cone, just so you can see, is I just put it right on, whoop, right there it is, put it right on the my Lazy Kate, my makeshift Lazy Kate, which I absolutely love these. They work great. They work better than any one that I actually found on the machine, because the yarn isn't coming out at weird angles. So let me finish this and we'll get to part 4 of making a double bound boucle. Okay, I finished spinning everything in the same direction again, and as you can see, it's made a really, really tangly type yarn here. It's almost elastic. And what I've done, I decided I didn't want to ply it with a thread because I don't want the white showing up so much. So I divided into 2 skeins and I will ply it back upon itself. So let me get this on the... I'm going to slide it down one more. Let me put this on my Lazy Kate. And I'm still going to keep 2 Lazy Kates. I couldn't find any longer dowels to use more in the first one quite on hand. So, and this time we're going to be plying like normal. Since we just did everything to the left twice, we're going to go to the right this time. And get my break on there. Alright, let me move the camera. Woo, back down to the wheel. There. Okay, and here are my 2 ends. And I was having a little bit of trouble with my flyer because of it's got a wire loop and sometimes stuff gets caught on the wires. So let's see if we got some tension going on there. And we do. Alright. We maybe need a little more tension for this because we want this to feed in really fast with a loose twist. And it's looking gorgeous. Maybe a little bit more tension on there. And I'll move this. And you see how that's coming out like a really nice boucle. See if I can zoom in on that. Zoom in. Yep, there we go. Really nice boucle. I really love the way that's turning out. It looks like the stuff I used to pick up in the store, and now I can make it myself so I don't bother. And I can use nicer fiber too. This yarn is not always cheap. And specialty yarns seem to go for a little bit more. And that is how you make a double bound boucle, and it's not feeding in very well. Tighten the tension up a little more. There we go. Yeah, because you just want a loose twist on this, nothing real tight. I think my band is becoming a little bit loose. I see it bouncing. Might be time to change that. Like it's slipping a little or something. But that, in a nutshell, that looks great. Let's see, we'll zoom back again. Move forward, back. Okay. That, in a nutshell, is how you do a double bound boucle yarn. And I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for yet, but I think I'm going to make something fun with it. I think it'd make an awful fun hat or something. Well, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week.